So does it automatically go live?
Yeah. Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome to Let's Talk with Rodney. And I know y'all missed me. I was like, "Where you go, Rodney? Where you been?" But I've been like, take care of my personal life. I done dropped the book. Hope you got it. We have another author here today. He is a man of many hats. I just want to say, like, first time I met Mr. CEO was at an event with Chanel, and one of his talents at the time was on a panel. So I'm just gonna let him introduce himself. So Mr. CEO, if I'm gonna call, he has been in the game for over 10 years. So I feel the edge due with respect. So tell the people who you are if they don't even know you. Can you're famous in these streets, but for the people who don't know you, who you are.
Hey, what's going on? My name is Isaac Hamm, brand strategist, celebrity brand strategist, new newfound author. June of 2020, wrote my first book, so I'm excited to have that as a title. In regards to all the other things that I do as far as PR, marketing, and branding. So yeah, I'm a big advocate for Black Music Month, which is June. So I wear a couple of hats in this industry, and I'm actually going into my 20th year of just being in the industry. Period. Originally from Philadelphia, now residing in Atlanta for the last 5 years. So, just building my brand. This whole pandemic has had me just kind of getting to know my brand. I tell everybody how to create and understand their brand. This pandemic just really allowed me to do that for myself. But yeah, so I do brand management, PR, and marketing. And now I speak about marketing because now I have the title of an author, uh, you know, amongst my name. So it's pretty cool.
Which is so funny
And
because I don't know.
congratulations on your book too.
Yeah, so it's basically the same things. I'm speaking from a newbie standpoint.
Mhm.
I'm just trying to speak for you to get there. You speak on keeping longevity, which I think is awesome. Because it's one thing to have success, as we see as many times with many people, but they disappear. And for you to be going on 20 years, that speaks volumes. So I want to say congrats to that. I wish you many more. But let's start from the beginning of your life. So how was it starting off in just being a PR and just trying to get your name out there? Like what outlets or what networks did you join or try to collaborate with?
Well, the PR side of things came once I moved here to Atlanta because the culture changed. Being from Philadelphia, I was known as a promoter. I did an open mic for 8 years called Hidden Soul Wednesday. I also networked so hard in that city, and in every city, a celebrity is different. I mean, Philadelphia, our celebrities were radio personalities and TV, TV personalities like the news. Reporters were our celebrities. Coming here to Atlanta, it was like anybody on reality TV. If you're a cousin of the A character and you the D character, you're still considered a celebrity. So the PR side really didn't really kick off until I moved here. And what I did was I just took the blueprint from Philadelphia and my connections, and I said, "Hey, I'm coming to Atlanta. What do I need to know?" And a good friend of mine, Moo Legend, she's from Philly. She has a radio show and she's also like in media here in Atlanta. My first day here, she invited me to an event, and I went to that event, and the rest is history. So just hitting the streets, being here for 3 years, and that third year, knowing so many people, everybody was like, "Oh, where's your client? Who you working with?" And that became a thing. And the PR title kind of dropped because a lot of people was coming to me to be on red carpets and be on TV shows and just different things. So I kind of just adopted it because it's like one of those things, if you like it, I love it type of thing. It's like if people always, and I educate people on this, when somebody is telling you something that they think of you, you have to kind of start taking heed to it, because a lot of times we'll block that, like, no, I'm not a radio
Oh,
personality,
yeah.
no, I'm not this, I'm not that, whatever. And then they keep on telling you that's how you get your name, because if they like it, you gotta love it because everybody's saying the same thing. So you must be doing something right. So I took that and say, you know what, let me add PR, because one, PR stretches my brain to be able to satisfy the needs of a client, but it also brings in more money. We talk about the streams of revenue, and they say you should have at least 7 streams. I can add that to one of those streams, and with PR, that's a hefty check when you are the publicist for celebrities, and you can I can have like tiered PR, bundle package or whatever like that. But majority of the time, I'm looking for the ones who's gonna I'm gonna get the most out of my time. You know what I mean? But I'm open to working with anybody and building people up, because I like to focus on the people that are coming up. You know what I mean? To have the already celebrity.
Let's start there. Let's start with you just not coming up. So with your first client experience, like what was the pros and the cons for people who are starting off PR who don't really know? Like, hey, I just know I like people, I connect with people, I'm trying to connect people and just get started in the PR industry. Like, what are some like pros and cons you get on starting off with your first client, like some do's and don'ts?
But I mean, the pros and cons when getting your first client, depending on what you need financially or how much time you have, you find somebody that's buzzing at that time, whether you are assisting them with something, not volunteering, but just working with them to build your network. Because sometimes you may have to take a celebrity or up on a rise celebrity. Here in Atlanta, it's a lot of people who were a celebrity 20 years ago, but they're still like relevant because Atlanta allows that as a thing. You could have been on the show 20 years ago and they're still just as relevant as the new reality stars or an actor, because it's just seeing people. Atlanta just allows, a lot of things on their red carpet, but it's because it's more of the traffic, more so it's the quality. And I mean, it's the quantity, not the quality so much. It's just like everybody's on this red carpet. So this is a good city to kind of start and be that publicist, because you can get people who were in a group years ago, or get somebody that got kicked out of a group, have drama, and you can be their publicist, and people still flock to that, because negative press is good press too. So it's like, but if you find somebody that you can definitely learn from by presenting them, and every artist or every celebrity, people, you go to pitch them somewhere and then they like, no, I'm good, because they may have burnt the bridge or something like that. So all those are learning experiences. So I would just say grab a client that that you can work well, that is hungry and wants you to work them, and not really impressed by how many years you've been doing it, and then they give you a chance. I would just go for somebody that needs that help, that's trying to rebrand. And I think the biggest thing is just be knowledgeable what you're doing when you're presenting these to these clients, because they want to know and feel comfortable that you know what you're doing. So whether you research and read up and then present an elevator pitch to that person, that gets you in the door, and then you just got to follow up with knowing what you presented to that person.
You said something very knowing how to trust your PR, because I had a horrible PR experience, and it's just for people like me, to speak in general, to be like, you know what, I'm paying you all this money and you get me stuff that's like I could book myself. So I think it's very, you hit a good thing on that. I think it's very important for people, you guys, to do your research on whoever you work with for the PR side and the talent side. Make sure that they really align with what they say they do. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes people like talk smoke, and when you're new and bushy eyed, you be like, ooh, he got this picture with this person, and they don't mean a damn thing. I just have to keep it real. But PR is like you,
right,
who actually I know. I mean, you like you have the credentials, you have the word. So like, just starting off with, how was it like working your first network? You say you came to Atlanta, you just network a room. How important? Let me say that. Let me ask you that. How important is networking in this industry?
It's really important. That phrase is not what you know, is who you know. And I mean, that phrase, I get it, but I don't agree with it 100%, because I feel like it's what you know gets you to who you know. So, if you're not educated, if you're not smart enough, if you're not intelligent enough to get to know the players, then you won't never get to a point of knowing them. So it's not what you know, is who you know, but you have to know something. Something has to get you to the point where you're now having that conversation. Whether you sold drugs in years ago and you took that hustle and you hustled that, you learned something. When I say it's what you know gets you to who you know, it's not education. It's not you getting a degree in something. It's you having hands-on experience. So a lot of people think, well, I'm not gonna go to school. My cousin know Keisha that was on such and such. Okay, cool. But you knew something to get you to Keisha. You know what I'm saying? So you still always have to know something. So it's what you know got you to the point of introducing yourself or positioning yourself at an event, volunteering at an event to get close to that celebrity. So I mean, I believe in that, but not wholeheartedly. Like I want people to understand, like, you have to have some type of sense, some type of knowledge or be educated enough and smart enough to be able to put yourself in a position to then get to that first person. And like, so with me, I know a lot, but it's who I knew too, because when I moved here, I was able to pivot myself to where I knew the people who I told I was coming, and I knew that I trusted that they were movers and shakers in the city. And from there, I was able to. And one thing too, I made no promises. Like, you know, when I got here, I knew mentally I'm going to definitely always be true to the people that looked out for me, but I didn't overpromise and under deliver, you know, and I'm still good friends with those people 5.5 years later, going on 6 March would be 6 years. But it's it's the give back. It's, you know, you always have to then give back to that person that put you onto something. But my brand was so strong coming out of Philadelphia, you know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like I came here and didn't know nobody. I came here not knowing what was going on, because the people I know are normal or older, and they're not running these streets. You know what I'm saying? They are was in Philly, or they're in the industry, but they're over that. So therefore, they weren't the people that I can say, "Oh, what's up? What you doing? Let's run these streets." I needed somebody young enough that was still running these streets, so I can get to learn and know the people. But it's about being attached to other people. You know, like my mentor, Deanna Williams, she is the founder of Black Music Month. Anybody over 60 knows who she is. That's in the industry. So when I present myself and I say I'm her mentee, they are open with arms, because she's done so much for the Black community. Her and Mr. Gamble, you know, creating Black Music Association, which, you know, Country Music Association has, other genres of music have, and Mr. Gamble was the creator of that. Then himself and Deanna came together with this Black Music Month, which was founded in 1979. So when you think Black music and why we celebrate it in June, it's those two people and a gentleman by the name of Ed Wright. So I'm positioned well to present myself to an older statesman in the industry, to where they would then open up their arms. Yeah, so it kind of like throws me into this like this arena to where I can go to an oldie but goodie show, and I can go to a young people show, because I can then talk to the manager who's managing the younger artists, and they are familiar with Deanna because they've been in the industry. So you see how I can kind of pivot in this industry, because I found a good connection with somebody who touched, like Deanna's to this day. What's the girl, Sweetie, and all them people? She still works with them, and she's 67, 66. So it's like she's still young enough. She still stays with the young people. So where I'm good to be able to say my mentor is, and that's the purpose of a mentor, being able, when they trust you, to use their name in different rooms, and vice versa. She be at places and she say, "Oh, you know, Ike," and people know me, and she like, "Oh, that's my." So it just works. You find yourself a good mentor that you can always rely on when it comes to connections or being able to use their name, and vice versa. When you become a mentee, I always think about everything that I do. How is it going to reflect the people that I represent? You know what I mean? So that's something too. But I'll be 39 in December, so I'm older than a lot of people that are coming into this industry and just running into it and trying to be
39
instant
is
famous.
not old. So I'll be 30 in January. Let's not do that.
You say you're gonna be 30 in January?
I'll be 30 in January.
Oh my God. I remember when I turned 30.
But one thing you really
10 years ago.
Yes. But one thing you really said was really important is having a mentor. People don't know the importance of having someone who is truly well versed in the industry, whatever industry you're trying to get in, that know people that connect you to the right people. And like you said, because you was being conscious of who you represented when you use that name, you know, I feel like that's a privilege. You can say, "Oh, I know this person," and they can back behind me. You know what I'm saying? And you would have like, "Hey, I know this person," and they credit this. And you was like, even though she's up here, she still kind of helped me get somewhere to go get to a younger crowd. They can get you in that space. So I think that's beautiful. But let's start off. What made you choose?
And I want to.
No, wait, hold on, wait.
I'm
What'd
sorry.
You say?
I was just saying, I wanted to add this too. Sometimes your mentor is not in that industry that you're in, because sometimes you can have a business mentor that helps you with the business aspect of it, that prepares you for the business dealings with a person. So your mentor may not always be in the industry that you're professing to be, you know, that you're trying to be in. So people that are watching, you may have a pastor mentor that just keeps you spiritually grounded and keep you mentally open to learn new things. And that's a mentor. That's somebody giving you that time. And a mentor necessarily doesn't have to hold your hand. The mentor is supposed to speak, and you're supposed to be smart enough or educated or intelligent enough to grab what they're saying without them saying anything. That makes sense,
Exactly.
especially when you deal with an elder statesman in a genre, in the industry that you want to be in, or you want to seek that guidance from, because sometimes they don't have time. I said what I said. I put it right here. You got to decipher through it to get what I'm saying, because people, like an example, my dad's side of the family, somebody can pass away and they will talk about it for 2 seconds and then they're off of it. Not that they're not emotional, but my mom's side of the family be a whole thing. Who cooking what? Who doing this? Who doing that? But my dad's side, I don't worry about certain things. And it's a difference, you know. So I always think about that. It's like if I go to my dad and tell him a sad story, his reaction is going to be way different than my mom's. She want to know who, what, where, when, and why. My dad's going to say, "Are you okay?" And then that's it, you know. So you have to think about how people react differently when presented with opportunity to give you information. So you choose well, and you can have as many stories as you want. The key thing is to make sure that they are storing you. You know, so that's step one. Make sure that you have that connection, that relationship, and that understanding that they are your mentor.
So let's talk about this. How important is it working with other PR? I know sometimes you guys do cross promotion. So how do you build that network within your own network?
I don't know. I don't necessarily build that relationship in a sense. What I will say is that I make sure that I'm respectful to all that are, because at the end of the day, I'm dealing with three different things: PR, marketing, and branding, and being a brand strategist, right? So PR is not the thing that I do 100% of the time. So I have to make sure that when I walk in a room and I see a publicist, I give them the respect, because I know that that's what they do 100%. You know, and the publicists, some of them do events, but yeah. So I always just make sure I give them the respect when it's deserved, as far as like making sure, calling ahead of time, making sure my client is good, thanking them when I see them. Thank you so much. Always speaking to them, even if I'm not working a client, but I'm always just, so it's those little things too help you get further. Because if I see a publicist, just like you see each other and I speak, and you're like, oh no, Ike, cool. Can't nobody come to you and say anything negative, because you be like, well, Ike don't treat me like that. Maybe it's you, or maybe he was having a bad day. So now you kind of condition people to respect your brand. You know what I mean? So it's like, but you speak, those little things get you so far, because they're like, oh man, I always speak. Let me send him this. Now I'm on your mind. So it's a marketing thing. It's a strategy that I make sure that I instill in people, because I want them to remember me for the next time they're doing an event. You know, or who can you bring with you? I get emails all the time wanting me to get my friends or my clients or past clients or whatever, because my relationships stay good even when they stop being my client. So I just put myself in a good position to always be a need from somebody. I always tell people I'm always a potential paycheck. You know, you can be mad at me, you can be whatever, but I'm always a potential paycheck, because my phone rings with opportunities, and I'm the person who's going to decide if I can, like that's why I'm always just nice to people. I don't have to. I will
It
just
is
be
important to
respectful of that.
respect,
Everybody's
just
not gonna like everybody.
people.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because like I feel like even though y'all not working together, it's okay to say separate and still respect each other. You know what I mean? You don't have to go off and this bad mouth, this or bad mouth. You never know, like you just said, who you might need in the future. Yeah. And I think that's very, very true. And I feel like you turned all this stuff and you just made one unique like hub house for all things you need in media. So tell us about your business that you started.
Yeah. The beard oil. So what I did was with this pandemic, I realized that it was something. What'd you say?
So I said you have so many. That's a good thing. Multiple streams, like yes.
Yeah, because this pandemic really allowed me to start. Like I wrote my book. Hold on, let me see. So I wrote my book, The Brand Is You: 5 Easy Steps to Building a Successful Brand, and that really came out of creating another book that I'm still going to do, but it's all my book series are The Brand Is You. That's my mantra, and it was going to be The Brand Is You. I'm just popular. So through that, I was going to write a series of chapters that talked about because you can be famous and you can be popular, and those can be one and the same. You can walk in a room, somebody can yell your name, but then I was going to define the difference between that, but also tell my story of how, you know, being popular can feel fame, but you know, whatever. But so within that book, I found that I had chapters that I did. So I yeah, what you say?
Don't be too much idea too much. People trying to steal ideas and steal you. So they talk about that's my book.
But you know what though? I'm not even worried about that, because my story is going to be so much different than that person's story. So they can take whatever they want, and but I just know that their story is not going to be as good as mine, and that's just how I look at it. So I mean, people can take whatever and mimic or mock whatever, but you know, at the end of the day, it's still going to be my story and my demographic that I have, my niche of people. They're gonna read it because it's me. It's my person. It's my reputation. It's, you know, and I have a great reputation, so therefore they're going to trust that, you know, that other person is going to fabricate whatever they need. So, but anyway, with this book, Building the 5 Steps, I just took one of the chapters and just turned it into an ebook. But then I realized, oh, well, let me just give it enough pages to make it a book that people wouldn't mind purchasing. So I'm working on another book too, that I'm going to release at the top. And then I also have a workbook that I'm coming out. So it's so many different things that I've been working on. And then the beard oil line, it's called Be Unique Beard Oil. This is the beard balm. I don't know where let me see. And then this is the oil. So everything is in black and white. You know, I don't know, it just happened that way. But this is just the beard oil. You know, I have a beard. Nobody ever really approaches me about being a spokesperson for a beard line. So I just decided, why not? And this time, you know, people are still spending money. Yeah, you got to just get your own stuff, because I just went to the mailbox and mailed off about 10 different things, some books, some beard oil, and it's just cool. And I do these things because not to get rich, not to become a millionaire, but these things are going to add to becoming that millionaire. You know, while I have my clients, this money that while I'm asleep, I'm getting purchases. I wake up and I fill those purchases.
Exactly.
But that's what I want. You know, they say you should have. Yeah, so you want to be able to say that. So I have 2 things that are, and then I do one-on-one consultation. So I get people booking me for that. So those 3 things that I get while I'm asleep. And then that's when I'm awake, I'm working those clients that I have, and I'm making sure that, you know, I'm, you know, on and off the phone, sending out emails and stuff like that. But I just want to, you know, just work smarter, not harder. You know, I don't want to be broke, you know. 45, I have a lot of things planned for the next 6 years. So listen, you get nervous about this. I'm excited about getting older, and that's wiser.
I'm happy. No, when you said 39 was old, I was like, no.
And then when you get in your 30s, your 20s. Oh, okay. Because you said you're 30, right?
No, I'll be 30 in January. I'm like, no. Yeah, I'll be 30 in January. So I'm like, no, don't say 39 is old. That's new 20s. We look, you know, you look good. You know, you look 39. You see what I'm saying? So you take it. So you got
I don't look my age. If I cut this beard off, people think I'm 26, 27. I'm like, no, that's cute, but I'm good. Give me my age. I'll take it.
Yes, I'm happy we turned 30. No shade. I already turned 30 than 20 any day. Whew. Thank God for growth. But for your book, where can people purchase your book? And can you show it one more time in the camera?
Oh yeah. So the brand is you, 5 easy steps to building a successful brand. So this is the front, the back. You can purchase the book on my website, iam3media.com, or on Amazon. So you can get the Kindle version. If you order online, like on my website, I'll autograph copy. You'll get an autograph copy. If you order through Amazon, it will come, but it won't come with my autograph. That's the only thing. So either way, because some people have Prime accounts, so they get it right away. People do Kindle books. So the purpose is that I just want people to get the message. I want people to understand how to start looking at themselves as a brand. One of the chapters in the book, I'm sorry, not one of the chapters. One of the steps is being consistent, and that's a major component, being consistent with your brand, because some people you set a plan and then you stay on task, but be consistent with it. Don't fall off. If you put something out there, just continue. Like with this beard oil, every day I'm posting something about my beard oil because it's mine. I need to stay consistent. It's No Shave November. So I need people to know. And so all that
You can take
at
care of
marketing with No Shave
yourself.
November. We got the
Going in.
holidays coming up, Black Friday.
Now, can they help us with a peach fuzz that's going in?
So just so this book. So this oil is an oil. It's not going to help your beard grow. It's just going to keep it moist. And of course, with us having to wear the mask and stuff like that, like I have it in now. I don't know if I can't see that it's shining through your on your screen, but yeah. So it really keeps everything moist and stuff while you got that mask on. People that are working 12-hour days, and it smells good. It's vanilla and sage. I'm sorry, it's vanilla and sandalwood smell flavor. It has that flavor to it, and it's not too strong. It's just like if you got a boo or whatever, they gonna smell it, but you can smell it. If you walk past somebody, so it's not overwhelming. And then you get the beard balm as well. So when you run out the oil, you can get the balm, and that's basically just like shea butter with the scent, and you just put it in as well. So either or that you wanna. But yeah, and it comes in this box.
Oh, that's fancy.
Everything for some reason is black and white. Yeah, I tied a bow myself. This one, a good friend of mine. She's a decorator. So she clowned me because she's all the way in Philly, so she's clowning me because I'm trying to tie it. And then I was like, I just got off the phone with her and I figured it out and I took a picture. She's like, oh, okay, you got it. Who taught you how to tie a bow? I'm like, you do this, I don't. But I'd rather be hands-on. I want everybody to know that I was the one who put it in the box, who packaged it and stuff like that. Like even with when my books go out, I put the so this the book, it's a book in here. I'm waiting to print out the thing to mail it out. But then when they get it in the mail, the brand is you. So that's my slogan, and that goes on everything that I send out. And yeah, just trying to stay consistent, and that's consistency. Always putting your brand and making sure your stickers go in there and everything like that, so people will put it on the back of their computer. Those are the things. Like my barber, I gave him the oil. I gifted him the oil, and he was like, "You don't have no stickers? We like stickers." So now I gotta make sure when I go to the barbershop, I bring him, some of these. But the sticker, is on here, but these are what the stickers look like. So I gotta make sure so he can put it on the back of his the mirror. You understand when you go to the barbershop, the mirror has all them stickers and stuff. Yeah, so added to that.
So I think it's very important what you said. Like instead of you sitting down on your butt and not doing anything during this pandemic that's still ongoing, you sat down and made a different business and made money during this pandemic, which I think is very important. Because unfortunately, as you know, Isaac, Miss CEO Isaac, whoever, I'm sorry, that a lot of people lost their jobs and income and stuff. And, I feel like this pandemic for me was just a moment of clarity to sit down and really do what I wanted to do. I was pushing off for years, like even with writing my book, with just starting a soap line, like just stuff I always talked about doing and never did. And I love the fact that you found time and found your purpose to do this build order and to write this book and just get yourself out there. Like I said, longevity is hard. It's cute to say you've been in 2 years and you're popping. But when you can say you're going on 20 years and your name still rings bells in this industry, that's commendable. You know what I'm saying? That's something to apply, to be proud of. Because like it's good for people to know you, but I think it's so much better when people respect you. You get what I'm saying? Like they respect what you, they respect your hustle, respect your grind. When you put something out, people are paying attention and watching and trying to see and learn from you. So I just want to give that flower because I just have to give flower people alive. And I just want to say I see you, and I feel like everyone else see you as well. And like just keep doing what you're doing and don't stop and keep going. You have a long time.
Yeah, I'm excited. Like I said, I'm excited. Like nothing is slowing me down. Even with my second book that I'm writing, it's really going to talk about taking that break. I already have the title and everything like that, and I have it set to release. I'm gonna probably release it like at the end of January. But it's called The Brand Is You. Please excuse my ums. And basically what you just said, people, being able to take a break and kind of collect their thoughts and start creating and starting businesses that they would not have started if they were still working at 9 to 5. Because the pandemic, yes, it was unfortunate. people lost their lives. And I understand that. But for the people who did not, lose their job, or who lost their job and was able to sustain, their income, because maybe they don't have a crazy debt to income. Maybe they were living good and below their means, and they now getting all this extra money with this PUA and or the unemployment. It afforded them the opportunity, because you think about it, so many people started businesses in this pandemic. Can you imagine how many people started this business and now they're going to be millionaires in the next 2 years because they created a soap, they wrote a book, they did a beard oil line, and they had time on their hands to do proper marketing. And that's what was happening too. People were calling me because they wanted to rebrand, or they're like, Ike, I have this idea. What do I need to do? Whether it's a website, an electronic press kit, or just one-on-one consultation. So it's kind of like one of those things. I won in this season because people knew that I had the skill set to motivate them and give them those ideas and do a SWOT analysis and say, hey, what is your strength, weakness, opportunity, and threats? And in this book, I'm gonna show it again. In this book, I hint on what a SWOT analysis is, but my workbook is going to have like a full page of SWOT analysis, different activities. We're going to be talking, and that one is called The Brand Is You, Changing Your Perception. And the thing about it is, when you look at a pie, 80% is perception and 20% is reality. And I want people to understand that 80% needs to be your reality and 20% is the perception, because you always want to stay more true to yourself than putting on this facade. Being here in Atlanta, people be pump faking, wearing all this fake stuff, and the reality is they can't afford to pay their rent. Like, be true to your brand and figure out that way that it's going to be truthful. So when somebody questions something, whether it's you being transparent, a lot of people go that transparent route and they're like, hey, I struggle with this. Hey, I worked at this job for so many months to get through rent. That helps people connect with you. You know what I'm saying? So if I can connect with you, if I feel like you're this high on the horse and I can't reach you, but then you tell me a story. How many celebrities you watch on every time you on the thing, and they say, I went through domestic violence. My dad used to beat my mother, whatever. And it brings you some type of like normalcy, that artist, that celebrity. People need to learn how to be transparent so people can feel comfortable talking to you. So when I do my interviews, I always talk about the fact that I drove for Uber Eats when I first moved down here. I drove for Papa John's, but I did that not because I was broke. I did that because I mentally knew that I needed to figure out how to get around the city of Atlanta. So I did it for two reasons: extra income until I get my feet grounded here, but I also use the opportunity to learn these streets. And now I don't need GPS. You see how I kind of killed two birds with one stone? I'm making money. I still have my clients. This job is low key. I make my own hours. And now I know the city of Atlanta, and I didn't have to wait to be invited to a certain section of Atlanta. I just knew where I was going. So you see how I took that little hustle and I flipped it to benefit me at the end of the day. So it's kind of like, but this transparency now, because people walk up to me and think I live in Buckhead, they think I drive this, they think I work or I have this or whatever. I live in a house. I tell people I live in a house with a roof and a front door, and I sleep well at night. You know what I'm saying? My car is paid for. But my car is paid for, and these things happen so I can spend money on what I need to spend money on. That's ordering more beard stuff. That's ordering more books. That's putting money into my marketing. So you don't have to drive these fancy cars to be the man. You have to be able to put your money where your mouth is. And I'd rather be able to put my money where my mouth is and still show up to the same event that you're staying at with, but my car's paid for and my suit probably costs more. So it's those things that you kind of have to look at instead of being broke trying to get to those things. I'm not doing that. I'm just not. At 39, at 29, at 23, I'm just not doing that. So that's how I look at it, and I'm okay with my little venture with driving for Uber Eats and Papa John's, because I learned something too. And also too, working at a corporation, you learn how to operate. You learn how to manage your time, people, what you don't want as employees, that was me using that to like get my shit together, because I knew that I want to run a business. I want to have these different departments. I want to have a building. So all those things were me preparing myself for what I know that God has prepared for me. So I look at it like that. So
I think that's very important.
But some people may not look at it. They may like, I'm not working nowhere. I'm just live from pillar to post. I'm gonna sleep on this person's couch. I bet you ask Diddy or any of these other people that got that same story. I bet you they work somewhere. I promise you they work somewhere. They didn't just wait for a bag of money to fall on their front porch. They got up and they bust their behind and did something. Maybe some things they may not be proud of. Something they are, but they did something to keep them motivated. I can talk about this all day, but I just don't want.
No, you said you maybe wide out. You said something they weren't proud of. But I want to say this. I'm not here to judge nobody what they did to get to where they are, but I want to say I want to humbly say thank God that I kept my dignity up until, still going. I had to do some crazy stuff to get an opportunity that came from me, which I know that's not some other people's story and it's unfortunate, but I'm just happy that I just used my knowledge and whatever, just to get into a door, because I couldn't imagine doing some things where I know some people have done it just to be seen. And, that's a whole nother, whole nother conversation. But it is time to wrap down. And I just want to say thank you so much for coming on. But can you leave us with 3 good nuggets of what people can do just to start off, or what you go by in your business, in your media mogul life? That's what people can live off of this, try to learn from.
Yeah. And I'm available to do one-on-ones. If you go on my website, you can make an appointment or DM me on Instagram, Izzy Ike on Instagram or on Facebook. Email me at im3media. I'm sorry, im3media@gmail.com. And I'm available. I mean, big or small. I love what I do, because at the end of the day, if I pass on speaking to people who are trying to start a small business, who knows what's going to happen in 2 to 3, 5, 10 years, and then they become this mega company, and then they like, Ike, remember when you gave me a chance? And then that's my blessing. I'm blocking that, so I don't turn nobody away. I present the opportunity, it happens, and then I give them the price. If they can afford it, they can afford it. If they say, Ike, thank you so much, you paid for that time, so therefore you take the information that you wrote down and that I gave you, and more power to you. And just hopefully I'm a good person. I'm good at picking good people to sow into, that the opportunity may come back, to where they're like, hey, I remember you did this. I want to bring you on, blah, blah, blah. Who knows? You get off the phone, this interview, who knows? I may get 2 more people that want to talk to me after this interview. So I always have to be open-minded and be respectful of who could be watching or listening. And
exactly. That is so
I
important.
can only go off experience, and that's what when I do these interviews, I speak from experience. I speak from the heart. I'm not a thief. I don't get off on getting over on people. So I'm an open book. If you don't want to work, if you do want to work and you can't do it, okay, cool. But holler at me when you are ready to talk and sit down, pay for the consultation or pay for the service, and I'm good.
And don't ever apologize for your prices. Oh God, no! Don't dumb down.
No, I've been yeah.
Let me tell you something. Let me share a quick little story before we get off. My mentor told me, he said, you're gonna get tired of lowering yourself just to be seen or get a sale. And when I tell you, I did like probably 5 things. I'm like, I cut myself a lot of money that I could have made, but I'm just trying to like get out there and just to say I did something. And that old Rodney is gone. So now I feel like when you have credits behind your name, when you have a media resume, I like to say, like, if people don't like your price, that's okay, because that one person who come to you will pay for their price and tell you people around their circle who can afford their price and get you other things as well.
Yeah.
And I can also that's how my life has been blessed during this pandemic. And then, God is good.
Because if you get that one person of the pay that price, there's more. You know what I'm saying? If you do a great job, there hopefully that you're good of judge of character, that the people that you are soliciting to have other friends that are doing the same exact thing and have the same amount of income that can afford that. So yeah, I'm just like, and I know people who are chasing after 5 different people just to get that one price that they really want to make a month, instead of setting that, and then each person is paying and you're tripling what you want to make a month. And the old me would have been running around here collecting 500, collecting 7, collecting 1,000. No, my price is what it is. Can you afford it? No. Okay, cool. So I always make sure I have a savings account. So when I don't get that, or that 6 month or that 3 month or that month of a client, I'm still able to pay my bills. So I just always make sure I keep that savings in there, and I just act like I don't have it, and I work. And then if I need to go into it, I'll be like, oh wait, I got the money. Okay, let me just go ahead and take it. So
Exactly.
I'm learning that. And as you get older, when you get closer to 40, things just start changing for you. You know, like 34, 35, and you start realizing that you have to start getting yourself together, whether it's purchasing a home, getting your credit together, all that stuff. Because think about it, all the people who are millionaires and not millionaires until they're in their 40s,
And that's
technically
all
past
right.
like
And that's all
45.
right
You
with
know what
me.
I'm saying? So yeah, you got some 6-figure people, but they not millionaires, and some of them are turning into that in their 40s or becoming 6 figures on a consistent basis. So never be fearful. I don't look at my age as a threat, like, oh my gosh, I'm so close to 40 and I'm not financially where I want to be. But you know, who's to say I'm not going to, I don't know how long I'm going to be on this earth. I still got time. Every day I'm hustling every
Exactly. Don't
single
rush
day.
the process. Trust the process. That's this one I heard a comfort line was a tenant say, don't rush the process. Just trust it. And honestly, when you just trust things and your alignment is with whoever you pray to, I pray to God. And I can honestly say, like, every blessings come my way. When I feel like I'm about to strike out, something like, oh, here. I'm like, oh Lord, thank you. So I'm just happy to say that. But Mr. CEO, thank you so much for coming on my platform and just dropping your knowledge. Yes, and one more time, can you tell the people about your book and your build order before we get off?
So the book, everything can be found on my website. The book is The Brand Is You: 5 Easy Steps to Building a Successful Brand. I actually took this photo in LA. It was funny because it was like a random, we was out there with a photographer. Yeah, and then this one that was done in Atlanta. But it was just a random time. I went out with my homegirl who's a stylist, and she was like, I come out, she booked me to come out there. Like, she just put it in the budget. I was like, that's what's up. See, that was at the top of the year, and it was just cool because me and her, we had this plan. We about to kick butt, this, then the other. By the end of the year, we was like, by the end of the year, we're going to be set like this. We're going to be able to go eat wherever we want to eat. And it's so crazy because it came to fruition that we go wherever and just, who paying today? We just throwing our card on the table. So it's great that you kind of put that out there and you basically put out what you want. And now we able to do that through this pandemic. We're still actively working. But the beard oil, everything you can find on my website. So iam3media.com. I don't know if it's somewhere in the description, but on my website. Yeah. Yep. So I as in Isaac, M as in Mary, the number 3 media. Yep.
That's it.
So you on the website, everything. Yeah. So iam3media / shop unique is the link or the page, and everything that I'm selling, I sell masks. I was selling, so this hoodie that I have, I'm going to be selling this December 15th. So basically brand, person, place, or thing. I'm from Philly, so the word John is the definition, person, place, or thing. So I just took that and said a brand can be the same definition as a John, and you go. So that's the marketing behind that.
Oh, look, you got some people on there love you. See, that's a beautiful thing right there.
Yeah, that's my cousin. She runs the Unique Brand page. So she is on it, and so that's who you've been talking to when it came down to like the emails and stuff like that.
I was like, Okay. Well, yes, I'm gonna lead this up right here, you guys. And again, I want to say, Mr. CEO, aka Isaac, aka Media Mogul, aka 10 years plus. Thank you so much for coming on my platform.
Thank you for having me.
See people in the comments, they love what you say. And you guys, if you need something, go talk to him. Reach out. Don't just be a viewer. You sitting there talking about, I need to start my business. It's somebody right here that can help you do it. Go book them. Go sign up. The website right there. I feel like the longevity speaks for itself. He's a self-made person. Don't holler at him, people. Until next time, you guys, I will see you on every Tuesday at 8 p.m. until December the 11th, I want to say, because I'm taking a break. But I love y'all. Y'all be blessed.
All right. Thank you so much.